Hey, this is Philip. Do week two's assignment on the yellow wallpaper. Um, Real dramatic. I read it twice. Still don't fully get it. One of the quotes that stuck out to me was, "I don't know why I should write this. I don't want to. I don't feel able. I know John would think it absurd, but I must say what I feel and think in the same way. It is such a relief." Clearly, the protagonist had major depressive issues, is illustrated by stating that she feels awfully lazy, drained of energy, dozens of times through the work. The work I really think was meant to shock people at the time. I guess in today's world, with all the advances and involvement in the women's right movement, it seems that the drama's overplayed a little bit. But if we were to look back at the era, the work was published in 1892. Women could not vote till 1920 with the 19th Amendment, the Constitution. So, kind of hard to relate to it, but if you put yourself back in that time, it was definitely one of those pieces that definitely kind of shook where everyone was at the time. I think about John's an interesting character in it. He's domineering, not in any physical abusive way. I think his intentions were actually kind of noble. He was also a product of the times, and Charlotte Perkins, she didn't really draw him in a negative light. She always refers to him as wise, loving, and patient. He doesn't hold his wife's thoughts to be of much value. There's a lot of him laughing at what she has to say, or brushing it off. Again, the intentions were good, yet probably a little misguided, especially considering today's times. It was very, I'm the man, what I say goes. I have a superior mind to you, and that was definitely illustrated throughout the work. She actually divorced him to, in real life. Her real husband moved to California to pursue her career. She even left her daughter with him. So I guess that definitely didn't mix those two together. The work reads more like a diary, and it definitely captures a turmoil that was probably very easily relatable to many women of the era, being that, guy, head of household, what guy says goes. This is probably why the work gained the fame it did. A couple years before the women's suffrage was in the spotlight. Another thought I have on it is the wallpaper illustrates, or that room, just kind of the solitary confinement, which we know for a lot of things. I know prior jobs I've worked in the psychiatric department, and one of the worst possible things you can do with someone with a mental illness, I mean, depending on what it is, but the mind needs to work, and that famous rest cure that was prescribed her and followed very strictly. For someone suffering from depression or something, doing nothing usually amplifies the problems, and you can definitely see her slowly going downhill as the story progresses, and she gets more and more wrapped into what the wallpaper is. So another thing that came out, aside from bringing to light all of the issues that were the women's suffrage issues, that rest cure was quite famous at the time to try to help people with mental illness, and I kind of shook that theory up a little bit. So these are my thoughts on the Yellow Wallpaper. Again, this is an interesting read. Very dramatic, and again, for its time, it was probably very much more shocking than and much more relatable than it is for today. So that's all I got. Y'all have a good one.